Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Alfred from Practical Code Academy. Welcome to a new video. In the last video, we just did some cleanup and we created this index.js where we can import all of our component in a nice and neat way inside the app.js. In this video, we're going to start with the layout components from the Material UI library. So I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to call it Layouts. And in this folder, I'm going to also create an index.js. It's going to be empty right now. Let me close everything here. And we're going to start with the box component. So MUI box.js. And you need to import the box component from the Material UI library. MUI material. So now also we need to create the React functional component using RAFCE. And here we have the React functional component. So the box component, it is the way of Material UI to define a div. So when you're using the Material UI, you don't use divs because the box is pretty much the same thing. It's a wrapping component. So for example, I can have a box and it can be wrapping component or self-closing component, but in that case, it's going to be wrapping component. And I'm going to wrap, let's say, a typography. So I'm going to be imported. It's imported here. Hello world. Now think about that this typography is inside a div. And the beauty of the box that you can use the SX prop here with it. So let's say this typography, which probably when I use the variant H6, this container, which is this box, I can put the style right here where I can set the width 500 pixel. And you just don't put the pixel, you just put the number. And I'm going to set the height 150 pixel. Keep putting the pixel. And you have to put a comma, of course, because this is an object. You're passing the styles as an object. Beside the height, you can use the PG color. And in that case, you can use the theme color that's provided by Material UI. And I can use, for example, warning. And you can have either the main color or the darker version or the light version of it. Of course, the warning is an orange color. So if you keep it without using any different version, it's just going to be the main warning color. Okay, so now I have the box, which is the wrapping component for my text or my typography. I'm going to load it to the app.js. And now to import it, all you need to do is just MUI box. And I'm not going to import it this way, which you can, but I'm going to get it from the layouts folder and I'm going to destruct it like this. Oops, it's not going to work because we didn't actually import it here. We need to add the import here, MUI box, and then export our object, which is going to include the MUI box, because in that case, you're exporting an object where you can destruct from this object here. And by that, it should work. Here we go. We have hello world. And MUI box warning. Let me change it to primary, light or dark. Oh, now it's working. So actually you have to use either the dark, not just primary, you have to be specific. If you want the regular primary color, you have to be main. That's the main in that case. And I think the height is too much. You can just put it 20 pixels. That's also a little bit. So let's put it 50. Here we go. But as you can see, it's a wrapping component that you can style it here. And of course, you can use any color that you want. You can put hexadecimal colors like CCC, and you can change the color of the text, in that case, to white. Here we go. As you can see, the text is white and the background is light gray. Let me do a dark gray. So you don't have to stick with the colors that come in from the palette of the default material theme. But let me show you something else. Now I want, when the user hover on this div or this box, I want to change the background color and the font color or the text color. How can I do that? That's actually very simple. If you use SAS, it's used pretty much the same thing, that you have to use the ampersand or the and. And now this and here is refer to this box. So with this box is get hovered, and you put here hover. And that's going to be the property that you can add to it. And then you can add a new object that will only, this object is going to be assigned to this property where this box get hovered. And now you can change any styles that you want. For example, I can change the background color. I'm going to use the palette, primary, dark. And you can also put the opacity. Let me show you how you can set the opacity. And now you can pass the opacity for that, which is like, let's say 0.5. Let's see if that's going to work. Here you go. As you can see, I'm going to put the opacity to full. And this is the dark blue or the dark primary color. Okay. Also, you can use box to create shapes. So let's say, let's add some margins here. So margin, let me add 2. Don't forget the comma here. Okay. See here, you have, this is not actually 2 pixels, that's 16 pixels. Because 2 multiplied by 8. So you'll have 16, 16, and 16 from all the 4 corners. Let me add another box here. And in this time, I'm just gonna wanna draw a square shape. So I'm not gonna put any content inside it. So it's a self-closing, and I can pass the width and the height. You don't have to use this SX property. You can pass any of these properties immediately as a prop to the box. Okay, so again, you have one of 2 options. You can use the SX prop to pass all the CSS properties as an object, or you can pass individual CSS property as a prop to the component. For example, I can set the width to 300 pixel, the height to 300 pixel, and also the background color to red. And of course, it's showing me an error here because I have 2 adjacent components. I need to wrap them. You can wrap them with another box. The case box is similar to the div. Here we go. Save that. Here we go. We have a whole box by passing the style as props to the box component. Again, it's up to you. If you have so many CSS stylings, then you prefer to use the SX prop and group them in an object. Or if you have few of them, you can pass them as individual props to the component. Okay. Okay, guys, I hope you like this video. It's going to be very, very helpful for us because I'm going to start using boxes instead of divs in the next videos. And actually, in the next video, we're going to start by the stack component. The stack component is very, very helpful. You can think about it like the flex way. If you want to create a flex container for your project, then you want to use the stack component in that case from the Material UI library. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.